We go. I don't know about you guys, but it's time to get a reset in my day. I'm Denise O'Malley, the founder of Udefine Wellness, and we have a new segment launching today that's called Mindful Minute. Because you know what? Our weeks have been going on. Here it is Thursday, and you got another day. If you have a normal work week, you have another day to get through. And sometimes we just need a reset. So, this wonderful idea was given to us by Dr. Natalie Forest of having a mindful minute on Thursdays, on the second and fourth Thursday of every single month. So, welcome. I hope you'll enjoy this. I know I shall. And I just want to say before we move on, if you can just capture this information, here's Natalie's contact information, and we hopefully will show it again at the end. But with that being said, I don't want to take up any more of her time. So, Dr. Natalie Forrest, I am turning it over to you.
Well, thank you, Denise. And hello, everyone. Whatever time it is that you're at, I have learned that doing, engaging in, exercising a mindful minute at any point in time during the day is really, really helpful. Because what it does, number one, it helps you release some stress. Okay. And you may not admit it, but usually during the day, there are some stressful situations. Whether you're working from your home office, whether you are in an office with 20 other people, whether you have an open office, wherever you are, there usually are one or two instances, at least during the day, where you get a little. And so in those moments, we need to be mindful. And I don't often use that term. Usually I try to avoid it actually. But I want to just spend about 15 minutes or so with you sharing some activities right now and engaging in them right now, so that you can have a mindful minute and be re energized later. Or if it's in the evening and you're about to leave your office, that you can go calmly through traffic. And most importantly, that when you get home, you don't bring that with you. Or if it's midday somewhere where you're at, you don't want to go into the next meeting or have the next conversation with a client being all stressed out. So I'm going to share about 3 tips with you, and I'm going to go through this a little bit. So the first thing that I always say is breathe. And it may sound really silly, but observe your breath when you're upset or stressed. It's usually shallow. You like you sound almost like a train, like one of those old trains. Okay. So you don't want to sound like a train when you're meeting other people. So what you want to do is you just want to take a breath. And when you take that breath, this is very connected what I'm going to tell you now to yoga. Okay. You want to take that breath, actually, let me see, sort of like here from your diaphragm up. You want to pull it up. And when you do that, your belly should actually come out a little bit. So you take that deep breath in. And when you take it in meditation, I would say take it into the count of 3, hold it for the count of 3, and then release it to the count of 3. So let's try that just for a moment. Take a deep breath in. And then you hold it for the count of 3. And you release. Now, I don't know how fast you have to count to 3. That doesn't matter. But there's magic in numbers. So as long as you're doing it in this balanced way, you can immediately feel that your blood pressure is going down. Everything is going down. So let's do it one more time. Hold it and release. Now, some yoga practitioners and others will recommend that you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Honestly, I don't really care. I always breathe out through the mouth because that helps me release stuff. And you can see that motion. So when you breathe out through your mouth, you go, and your whole body goes with it. So whenever you're a little stressed, this took us what, 20 seconds? And if you're counting to 3 on the breath in, holding to 3 and releasing to 3, do it 3 times. It's almost like a magic number. That usually helps. If you're still a little jittery, just do it a little bit longer. And the great thing about it is you can do that while you're sitting in your cubicle. You can do that when you're going to the restroom because you don't want to scream at somebody. You can even do it when you're in the elevator going down to your vehicle or up to a meeting, or when you're sitting in your car. I actually do that a lot during driving too. I don't know where you're driving, but it helps me. So that's one. The other thing is, and again, I ask you to do this right now, is take a sticky note, take something to write. If it's just a piece of paper or scrap paper that you have, it doesn't matter what it is. If right now you're stressed in one way or another, write it down. So grab a pen. Anything that happened, just jot it down. Okay. So, like, I had one or two instances. I'm going to write mine down. You just write it. It's important that you write it with your hand. Okay. So, you want to write things down, okay? Like the person that cut me off while driving my daughter. Now, also the cicada that ran into my car. Didn't like that. Okay. So, now I have that written down. You're not done. Now, you're going to tear it. I know this may seem very silly, but you might be surprised. Now, you have three choices of what to do with this. Number one, trash can. Number two, toilet, flush it down the toilet. It's paper, paper's natural, you're not causing the environment any harm. Or if you're at home and doing this, you might actually want to burn it up. All of those three options are really important. Now that helps a little bit. Then after that, and I think Denise has seen me do this, you want to actually stand up and get it all out of your system. Okay, so you stand up and you just shake it all out. And my hair's probably going to fall apart. Now, this you probably don't want to do when you're in a big office where everybody's looking at you, unless you don't care like me. Okay, so now you're doing it. Okay, you can do this in the stall, in the bathroom. And then breathe out 3 times heavy again. All right. These 2 activities do 2 things. The first one calms you whenever you need it. And the second one helps you just get something out of your system. Now, I can't promise that when you go to bed at night, you might have to do that again because you may have regurgitated some of that stuff. But you now have an option. Now, the last thing I want to do, and that is really more of a thing that you want to do for 5 to 10 minutes. And I know you all have 5 to 10 minutes because we all get breaks at work. And sometimes I have done this, again, even in the car, not while driving, but I will pull over if I'm really aggravated. Sometimes you get a call while you're driving if it's connected to your car. So if you pull over, it's a little meditation. And I'm trying to pick my words carefully because there are associations with meditation. Okay. If you want to call it a prayer, if you want to call it a 10-minute sleep, whatever works for you. Okay. But in this instance, you really want to close your eyes. And if you're able to, you may want to put little meditation music on. If not, perfectly fine. Some of us, if we don't have music, we start hearing all those other noises. And right now, we want to tune those noises out. Okay? So just imagine that you're hearing this music right now. Again, you're closing your eyes. And if you can, you may lean back a little bit. If you have your own office, you might actually be able to put your feet on the table. But if not, there's nothing wrong with having your feet on the ground. So let's keep the feet on the ground. We would say, now you're grounded, so you can't fly away, spiritually speaking. So you're just going to sit there. You're going to take 3 deep breaths in and out at your own pace. And then you're just going to Put your hands on your heart or put your hands on your upper thighs, preferably facing up, open, because you're now ready to receive positive, mindful input. And you're ready to release anything that is not positive. So you're just going to sit there. And this is going to be awkward because we're on Zoom, so I'm actually not going to talk for a couple of minutes. Okay? So you're just going to close your eyes and you're just going to breathe. If you want, you can breathe, of course, to the count of 3. So just breathe for a moment. And you want to make sure that you're not stiff. So if you can lean back, if your hands fall off your thighs because that's where you have them, that's okay. Keep breathing. And if you're beginning to hear any sounds, like my cat, just incorporate them or ignore them. And just keep breathing. And the trick now is that regardless of what you do or don't know about meditation, there really is no right or wrong, because a meditation means that you are now getting in touch with yourself. That's all it means. And so there are probably some thoughts coming up. If they come up, you now have to claim your power, because this is your mindful minute. That means if any thoughts come up, like, what am I going to make for dinner? Did I send that email? You're going to acknowledge those thoughts. And you're going to tell each thought individually that you're going to get back to them after this minute is over. And keep breathing. And if you feel yourself slouching, or if you're a little self-aware because you're not in your own office, that's okay. You're just giving your body, your mind, and your soul a little bit of quiet time right now. Keep breathing. Remember to acknowledge each thought and just tell it you'll be there later. It's not going to go anywhere. Just keep breathing. If you get hot or warm, if you get cold, if you have a sense of tingling in your limbs or anything, all of that is perfectly normal, because most likely your body, your mind, and your soul are not used to you being mindful of what they need. And there are plenty of 5 or 10-minute meditation tracks on YouTube, on Amazon, on all the different labels, as well as, of course, there are plenty of meditation apps. And then let's take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Now, don't open your eyes yet. That's the last thing we're going to do. So just start by moving your fingers a little bit. If you want, move your toes a little bit. Maybe you'll shake your head, your shoulders a little bit. We just want to now let your body, your physical body, know that you're about ready to go back into this life that we're feeling a bit stressed about. And then the last thing that you do is you open your eyes and do it very slowly. I usually recommend looking down first because there are all these distractions that come up. And then slowly, slowly look back up to wherever you need to look at. Probably want to take another deep breath in and out. And what I usually do after, and I cannot explain to you why, is I usually rub my hands a little bit. And that just gets, more energy flowing, especially if I know I have to get back to work. So this friction that I'm creating right now is making sure that all of my cells are awake and ready because we just gave them a break. And then you breathe out and you turn the meditation music off. Take another breath. Maybe you're now ready for your meeting, or maybe you can now pull out the keyboard, write that email, and call whoever you need to call about that dinner that came up. Okay? So I hope that helped a little bit. It's really easy. The more you do it, the calmer you will be. And that's why, of course, we decided with You Define Wellness leading all of this to make this available to you on a consistent basis. Okay? We all know that the more often we do something, it becomes a pattern, it becomes a behavior, and sometimes we fall off the wagon, and that's okay. That's why we're going to be here every month, every 2 weeks, just to help you take that minute because it'll help de stress you, it'll help your overall wellness, it'll clear your mind, and you'll be able to be re energized and probably more focused on your next task. And I got to throw this in, if you're a woman, you're probably more ready now to multitask again. We're just better at that. Okay. So I hope that worked. Those are the 3 things that I wanted to recommend. We'll revisit them from time to time when we're meeting on these Thursdays. There are many ways of doing these. I highly recommend that you start doing this on a daily basis. And if you really do, even when you fall off the wagon, be sure to let us know how it works, because then we know also what to help with and what to offer next time. That's all I got, Denise.
Natalie, this was fantastic. I want to speak for a moment to the people who are in our audience. So you may be sitting there and saying, yeah, this is easy for you to say, lady. I mean, you already got it all together. You're calm, cool, and collected. She practices what she preaches. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to toot her horn for a minute. She is just like us, you and me. We a million things going on. In 2 days, she's the executive producer for the Women's Quantum Leap Forum, sponsored by the Los Angeles Tribune. This is not a small project. I also happen to know she's planning on a really major move soon. So there's a lot going on, but Natalie is just epitomizing that, that you do this and you can be as calm as she is for this. There are techniques that really work. Natalie, with that, I definitely want to thank you for this. I want to share your information one more time so that everybody can write it down. If you would like to learn more about Natalie and the work that she's doing, I invite you to go to her website, send her an email, reach out to her, and find out about the work that she does. She's a fantastic transformational mentor. She helps guide people through their wellness path to meet their end goals, and you definitely will want to reach out to her. While you're on the website, why don't you go over, or the internet, go to a number of places on the internet. You will find our events. We are hosting events every single week to support you, and we invite you to join us for them. Some of them are Facebook Live, some of them are on Zoom. And if I can assist you in any way whatsoever, please reach out to me, and let's talk about how we can help you out. And if I went a little fast for those, remember, if you're watching this on a recording, you got that really nice little rewind button, so not a problem. That being said, have a blessed day, Natalie. Thank you. Any final words from you?
No, just, we're all in the same boat. There's lots going on. So your body, mind, and spirit do deserve a rest.
Fantastic. With that being said, everyone have a fantastic week.